Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to replace the lens in your Zoom Q2n-4K. Now I've already done a video where I showcase the original Q2n, but the 4K model is a little bit different. This is not the stock lens. I've already replaced it, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and make a video where I'm going to take it out and then show you how to put the lens back in. This is a 170 degree wide lens. The stock lens is actually a 150 degree wide lens. Here's the stock lens just for reference. They're both the same diameter around. This lens has been modded because I use this for paranormal stuff. So if you're here looking for paranormal, then watch to the end of the video and I'll show you, what I'm doing for that. If you're here for just a replacement lens, then you don't need to watch the entire video. You can just watch what I do to actually remove this lens. And another thing is, unlike the old model, there's not very much glue. See those little points right there that are sticking out? There's not very much glue holding this lens in place. First of all, we want to take this part off, this little lens hood. You're wondering, well, how am I going to unscrew the lens? There's nothing to grab on here. I used a strip of velcro. You adhere that directly to the lens itself, and then you got a nice little handle here that you could then twist and get the lens out. Because I'm going to do the same thing, since I've already done it. I'm just going to use blue tape. It's not going to need much to get it off because this one doesn't have any glue on it. So I could already feel it. You do the same exact method when the lens is new with the velcro, and you'll be able to take it off real easy. It's just now, again, since there's no glue on the lens, I could easily take it off with blue tape. And blue tape's even better anyway because it doesn't leave any of that terrible residue. So here you go. Here's the inside. That's the image sensor. It's just a generic SJ4000 lens. That's all this is. I believe the threading is M12. And I've already removed the hot mirror. You don't need to if you're just replacing the lens for stock, but if you're in the paranormal stuff, you're going to want to remove the hot mirror. It's just usually, sometimes it's a full circle in there, sometimes it's just a square, and you can get you like a an X-Acto knife, and then you can pry it off of there just to make sure you don't scratch the part that's in there right now, that little glass. Now, before I move forward, I do want to mention that since this lens is 170 degrees, that you are going to get some vignetting. I'm going to start screwing the lens here. And don't worry about getting fingerprints and stuff on there. That's okay. And since this is a brand new lens, there's no glue on it. So I can actually screw it in pretty easily. And if you look at the back here, it is still out of focus. So what am I going to do when I get to that point? Well, I'm going to keep twisting for now as much as I can. And then we'll see about getting it in full focus here. See, it's getting pretty close. Still blurry, but it's getting there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to the TV, and then I'm going to start focusing it. Sorry, I got off camera there. See, there we go. It's starting to get nice and focused, right? Well, if you can't get a grip on it, which so far I'm able to, I'm leaving fingerprints on the lens, but don't worry about that. The camera does look quite in focus through the small screen, but don't use this as a full judge. What we want to do is we want to connect it to a TV, so I'm going to stop the file and I'm going to break it off and show you connecting it to the television. It is very blurry, but I'm going to show you something real quick. See, here's my hand. You see how it gets nice and clear? Yeah, you can see all the... Well, that's because the lens isn't focused properly. So that's what I was saying, that the lens will kind of be focused as a macro. Well, I got this banner back here, right up there, the NBA Jam, and I'm going to be focusing the lens to that. So I'm going to try to finish it off by twisting it manually. If not, then wow, that actually looks pretty good there. That's looking even better. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the pixels of the NBA Jam right in there. See the gray? I'm trying to look at those little dots. I want to make those to where they're dots. But I also want everything else to be as sharp as possible on the edges of the video. So right all the way up to the edge, I want that to be sharp. And this could be a little bit unsharp if the edges are nice and sharp. I can deal with that. So far, actually, this looks pretty good. I can mess around with it a little bit and see if it gets any better or worse by twisting it. See, the edges are a little bit sharper and the center is blurry, so that's too much. So I'm going to twist it back to the left, and we're gonna, yeah, I like it right there. But notice the vignetting in the corner of the video. It's right there. I don't know. There we go. Up there. So yeah, you get the idea. Let me go and clean the lens off real quick. So now it looks nice and sharp. The center is pretty good. See, it's not as sharp as I would like the center to be, but the edges are where it's at. So if I focus on the center, then what's going to happen is this will be nice and sharp where I want it, but the edges will be blurry. But this is a nice compromise. So this is what you're working on whenever you go to focus the lens, because you can see me. Well, I'd have to change the scene setting to make it a little bit brighter in here, but so that's what we're working on. That's what we're doing, and hopefully this helps you out. Again, this lens is modded, so real quick I'm going to show you. So there we go. Now we have a modified camera. Notice the slight vignetting, which doesn't bother me, but yeah, so hopefully this helps you out. You're able to replace your lens, modify it for paranormal, whatever it is you want to do. Hopefully this video helps you out. Again, the stock lens is 150-degree wide, and I replaced it with a 170, so that's why I got the slight vignetting. I would suggest look for 160 if you can. If not, just use the 170-degree. They're probably the cheapest anyway. See the vignetting? You can zoom in on it, and that's just 1 times zoom. And so everything is cropped off completely, and everything looks normal and doesn't have that fisheye effect. Now, if you don't want a fisheye, then replace the lens with a smaller 140, 130, somewhere in there, and you should be fine. So look, here's the further zoom, and this is digital zoom, so it does pixelate. See, notice the graininess of the video. And then here's back reverted to normal. Let me turn on the light, turn off the infrared light. By the way, that's just it's an infrared light bulb, a Reptile infrared light bulb. You can find those at Walmart or any of the pet stores for about $6 or so. So yeah, they have infrared light bulbs, and they do get hot. So yeah, it's quite warm. That one's a 75 watt. If you're having trouble connecting your camera to your TV, you got to use an HDMI to a micro HDMI. Don't get it confused with mini, which is a little bit larger than the micro. And if you still get a blank screen, white screen, blue screen, whatever, your video's not transferring, then you need to update your Zoom camera, this one right here, and make sure it is on 1.04 firmware. That's the latest as of this video. And all you got to do is put the file in the root of your SD card. So as soon as your SD card opens, just throw the file on there. You don't have to reformat your card. Just throw it on there, and then when you power on your camera, hold the power button and the record button at the same time, and when it turns on, it'll give you the prompt, and it literally takes like 2 or 3 seconds for it to finish and finalize an update. And then that'll solve your HDMI out to your TV solution. And so I just wanted to say that real quick, just in case there are some of you out there having a problem with that.